No method of meditation. You don't have A, B, C, D, E, and F, right? You are on the top, on the Sasrara. It's not like this. Is that we have to have, I call them certain number of parameters within us. And those parameters, if you are able to try to follow them, then we can have the depth of meditation. It's like an Indian dish. When you put all the masala, the spices in the proper quantities, you get a very beautiful dish. It's something like this. So these parameters we'll discuss one by one. The first thing is that when we meditate, we have full devotion to Shri Mataji. Devotion is called bhakti. And on the 30th of March 1990, Shri Mataji, all these talks is there and the references are there. Sometimes I will tell you, sometimes I'll just do like this. Is Shri Mataji, she has told, is 1990, she said, 3 tricks to progress in Sahaja Yoga. That's the title of the talk. So in that, Shri Mataji has told the definition of Ananya Bhakti. This is a term which was used first time by Sri Krishna. Ananya means not dual, not separate. Anya means separate, and Ananya means united. So Sri Krishna here said you have to do Ananya Bhakti. And Sri Mataji said that Ananya Bhakti means that you should be able to see how I see. You should be able to, it's in Hindi, how you work about Sahaja Yoga, you should do it as I do it. And at the end she says, you should be able to love others as you love me. So that's Ananya Bhakti. And then also for the prayers, is just how deeply you touch the feet of the divine, which is important. It's not the words which is important. And on the mantras also, it's the thoughts which have vibrated, which were the thoughts which have vibrated. These are the words of Shri Mataji. And also in Sahaja Yoga, we should have dharma. Why dharma is important? And on 30th December 79, Mumbai, she said that it's not how many times you meditate, how many times you sit in water, how many times you do all these rituals is important. What is important is how much dharma you have within yourself. I think so for Indians it's more important. That dharma, how much it is there. Now the second parameter is Sri Ganesha. Because Sri Ganesha, as you know, he is there on all the chakras, and there are very, very beautiful 3 talks on Sri Ganesha which really inspired me, which I must tell you. Yeah, I pull my ears because all the talks are good, but these 3 talks are really, it's Mahamaya and Mooladhara, Birmingham, April 85. And then Ganesh Puja, 85 August in Brighton. She talks about chastity. And then there is also a puja of Ganesh Puja, 1986 September in San Diego. So these 3 talks, I listen again and again and make down the notes, so it remains in my head. So this, and then those who understand Hindi, also there is a very beautiful talk, Ganesh Puja, 1988 Mumbai. A translation is available on Amruta. So this Sri Ganesha, Shri Mataji says that unless until your Ganesha principle is settled, your realization has no meaning. In Ganesh Puja 86, Shri Mataji said this, because Sri Ganesha is not only on the left Mooladhara, which gives us the purity, which gives us the innocence, which gives us the wisdom, but also this Sri Ganesha in other forms of Sri Kartikeya on the right hand side, he puts all our devil's possessions or whatever in the hell. And in Ganesh Puja 83, Tivoli Shri Mataji said, when your mind which is full of confusion, which is making the same mistakes again and again, which doesn't have good discretion, all these things, and if you are not able to come over your ill feelings of the past, in that case you put your right hand towards Shri Mataji and left hand on the ground. So this is, she has repeated. So this is on the right hand side. And Sri Ganesha, he helps on the Ajna Chakra also, because more we are innocent, more easily we can forgive. You see, the children, they live in the present. Why? Because they don't think. They don't think because everything for them is like cinema going in front of them. And also behind Sri Ganesha is the memory. Like when you listen to the talks, many times we forget. But when Sri Ganesha makes you remember, yes, Shri Mataji said about this thing. Like this morning, if you, it was birthday puja 1990 Sydney, where Shri Mataji says that somebody has got ego and another fellow, another ego, and both the egos, then they clash together. And I remembered what's happening with Trump and Elon Musk at the moment. So Shri Mataji tells many things, and one of the talks which we have made is called the warnings, prophecies, and the promises of Shri Mataji. Because whatever she has promised even before, they are coming true today. Shri Mataji said for Sahaja Yoga, the danger is not from outside, it's from inside. And then she's 85 Diwali Puja. And then also she told that all the money from the West will go to the third world countries. And today almost same thing is happening. The West, people don't have money, they just have the paper money. So this is something which we can remember about Sri Ganesha. And most important thing is that sometimes we feel what will happen to my country, what will happen to Sahaja Yoga, what will happen to Shri Mataji that time. It was Navratri Puja 96. And what will happen to the whole world. And she said, for this, you have to become very strong, very, very strong. And for this, meditation is very important, she says. So this Sri Ganesha tells us in every circumstances what Shri Mataji has told in every circumstance. So how Sri Ganesha is important. And the second is, most important thing is Sri Ganesha, he knows his mother out and out. He recognizes her. We are surrendered to Shri Mataji, but we do not fully recognize her. It's so difficult because of the Maya also. So he takes us above the wheel of Maya. And that recognition is not that we proclaim her as Adi Shakti, but recognition is that every walk of life, every moment of our existence, we have to remember we are son and daughter of Adi Shakti, and how we should behave, how we should have our way of looking at things as a Sahaja Yogi. And this is we have to sort of inculcate. And when we do that, we will remember, this is the way also we should love others as Shri Mataji loves us. You have to love others also in the same way. Now another parameter is attention. Shri Mataji is not very happy with our human attention. She says human attention is hopelessly bad. It's Pandharpur Puja, Shivratri Puja 84. So we have to watch our attention. Watching our attention is the only penance in Sahaja Yoga. She says it's the only penance in Sahaja Yoga is to watch our attention in the daytime. Where is it going? And in Ganpati Pule 98, Shri Mataji says you should have thoughtless attention. Thoughtless, because our attention is put for thoughts, and that's why it does not do the work it has to do. She explains it in much better way. But we should have thoughtless attention. When we put attention on something, some situation, something we put bandhan, what we do is we put our attention. It's like a lighthouse. You put the lighthouse in like this, so from far away you can see the lighthouse. But if you replace the lighthouse with a pocket lamp, it will not do the same thing. Another example is, you have got the sunlight and you have got the paper. The sunlight falls on the paper, nothing happens. But if the sunlight goes through a magnifying glass, the other side the paper burns. The same way, sunlight is our attention and the magnifying glass is the thoughtlessness. So when the attention is thoughtless, it works, it triggers, it happens, something happens to the other side. So even when we put a bandhan, we put our attention, this is what happens actually. So that is attention. Now another, this thing is surrender. The surrender is what we say, Mother, I surrender everything to you. But if the surrender is covered with our attachment, it does not work. basically the surrender should be detached surrender. To explain the point, it's like two sides of the same coin. We cannot say I am surrendered to Shri Mataji but I am attached. So whenever you want to put a problem on Shri Mataji's feet, you put a bandhan, we don't tell her, I put a bandhan so that my son pass the exam. No, I put a bandhan so that the thought of my son failing is going to perturb me too much. And that's why I'm putting him in your attention. You put your attention on my son's career, as you wish, if you wish, and when you wish. I don't put any condition. If he has to fail, let him fail so he understands. Something like that. So you don't put your condition. In India we say, okay, let my son pass, I will give you 108 rupees to Sri Ganesha, something like that. It's a deal, it's not a surrender. So this is surrender. There is a very beautiful story of Draupadi in Mahabharata also. And this is the surrender part of it. And now another aspect is the collectivity. The collectivity is, we have to be collective in our local collectivity. Then you have the national collectivity and the international collectivity. Just to give you an example, once we were in Rahuri, we were just four of us. Rahul Bhai, you must have heard of her. One gentleman who was taking care of the organization, Shri Mataji and me. And Shri Mataji told this, and there were some foreigners about 30-40 kilometers. And Shri Mataji said, let those foreigners come here. And this gentleman did not, he said, no, there is no toilet, this, that, no, okay. Finally, there were no mobiles. And the next day we realized that they had thought that Shri Mataji is going to come there. And they prepared a puja and everything. And I could feel that Shri Mataji was physically with us, but really she was there. And finally they did a Nirakara puja. So that really struck me when it is collective, Shri Mataji is there. Alone, she is not there. So that's one more thing. Now, another aspect is our thoughtlessness. The thoughtlessness is, when we are in the thoughtless state, we are in the kingdom of God. And His administrators, His people, His system takes care of us. Gudi Padwa Puja 76 in Delhi, 30th March. It's a very, very good puja. You can listen to it again and again. A lot of things to Mataji said about that. Now, this thoughtlessness is the second last, station before the terminus station. And of course, to go into thoughtlessness, we can forgive, we say Lord's Prayer, we know all those other things. But there are two things which recently I remembered, I realized. One is that we have to make Shri Mataji happy. And when Shri Mataji is happy, she gives us a blessing. And one of the blessings is thoughtlessness. Of course, for me, she took out my karma. It was a bonus. But otherwise, she gives us, thoughtlessness is her blessing. She says that in Bodhi, 24 March 79. So this is first thing. And secondly, if you are able to go on the Kundalini of Shri Mataji, Shri Mataji said it several times, that if you are able to come on my Kundalini, you will feel absolutely peaceful. You will be absolutely in thoughtlessness. And this is something which we can try. And once she also told how we can go on her Kundalini, is to remember how she loves us, how she has helped us, how she is being motherly to us in so many situations. So when we are thinking so much with so much love, affection, gratefulness to Shri Mataji, we go on her Kundalini, and that's how she can solve our problems. She is thoughtlessness. Then the last is but not the least, the Sahasrara. Because Sahasrara is the Satyakhand, is the zone of truth. It's if there is somebody telling something and suddenly you feel the vibrations on the Sahasrara, that means that person is telling you the 100% truth. It's true, it cannot be wrong. Or any other thing, if you feel the vibrations on Sahasrara, it's the zone of truth. And Sahasrara is the only instrument which will work out Sahaja Yoga in the modern times. It's the only instrument, Sahasrara Puja 1991. And how does it do it? It's by taking out all our misidentifications, our illusions. And she says, self-imposed ignorance. She says, it's 1998 Saturday Puja. Self-imposed ignorance. It takes out the Sahasrara. And also, what happens is Sahasrara is it expels all what is troubling us and everything. When you do like this, what happens? We take out the Kundalini from the Sahasrara and it takes out all what is troubling us, all what is disturbing us. And this is, Shri Mataji talks in Birthday Puja 84, Mumbai. And also, when the Sahasrara is open, we know all that if the heart is closed, the Sahasrara cannot open. But here she says, if the Sahasrara is open, it opens the heart. So, it's so important that the Sahasrara, today's talk was quite good about this heart and the Sahasrara. So, the Sahasrara opens the heart can open. So, and these things, and most of all, Sahasrara is the one which gives us the confidence of our own divinity. Because unless until we have that confidence that we are divine person, we are Shri Mataji's son and children, daughters, we cannot work out Sahaja Yoga. So this is the Sahasrara. Now, let's see what happens actually when we meditate. When we meditate, we have got these three channels, left side, right side, and the center. Now, these are like three tubes in our vertebral column. Now, the outside tube is the right side, the middle tube is the left side, and the innermost tube is called the Brahma Nadi, which is the center tube, and the Kundalini goes through the central tube. And in most of us, either the right side is thicker, or the first tube is thicker, or the second tube is thicker. In any way, in both the cases, it becomes the middle one becomes small. And when we meditate, the Kundalini goes up, and this middle part, Shri Mataji calls it in axis. Axis, Sankranti Puja 88 Mumbai. It's in English. So this axis becomes big. And once this axis becomes big, the outside two tubes become less. Shri Mataji obviously explains it in much more better way. So this is exactly what happens when we meditate. How do we know if we meditate well? Is that we, after the meditation, we don't want to come out of it. We said, okay, I want to have some more. I want to have some more. So we want to just stay more in meditation because we are enjoying that meditation. Now, what is the after effects? What does meditation, this is the last point, is that in 2008, last talk of Shri Mataji, Guru Puja, Shri Mataji said you make 3-4 people, group of 3-4 people, and you exchange your vibrations, you make whatever. So we have a group of 3-4 people, and we exchange some experiences. And these experiences, I'll just tell you one or two of each. We call them detection instrument. These are the sensors, we can say, in our body. First is the Kundalini, second are the vibrations, and the third is the Sahasrara. Out of it, Sahasrara is the best. If you feel the vibrations of Sahasrara, it cannot let you down. So just to give you some example, like for example, one of the yogis, his daughter-in-law was in hospital. She was to give birth to a baby, and in the 7th month, the lady started, having labor pains and had to go to the hospital. So the son, he was even crying. He thought, now the baby is gone. We cannot do anything about it. And suddenly, when the son was talking, the father, he felt the vibrations on Sahasrara. He said, "Don't worry, everything will be all right." The baby came. He went, on these tubes and all that in the incubator, yes. And that very fine, no problem. It's the same thing. And also, one another time, another son, he could not get a job. For 1 year, he could not get, but he had very good qualifications, highly qualified. And he was telling, yes, I will come home, this and that. And father felt a bit, sad. And suddenly when he was in the kitchen, he felt vibrations on Sahasrara. He said, okay, now everything is all right. And in 15 days he got up, he was in banking, he was in a bank, it's Australian bank he got. So there are lots and lots of experiences. Because why I'm telling you this is, in anything what you do, you have to be prepared. If it's a war, you have to be prepared. If it's a studies, you have to be prepared. You have to go to Roland Garros to play the tennis, you have to be prepared. So, so when we are going further, we have to be prepared from inside. How our sensors, our detection instrument. There is the Sahasrara. Second is the Kundalini. It gives an indication. Like one of the yogis, he was meditating, and he for about half an hour he was meditating, and he had no vibrations. Always thinking of somebody who was he was thinking about negatively about somebody. And he said, okay, so after 30 minutes, I will put up and then get up. So, and suddenly he thought, if that person comes in just now, he was a man, so what will be my reaction? He said, I will get up and give him a hug like a brother. As soon as he said that, his Kundalini came up like a big dam which is broken, and lot of vibrations, Kundalini came up, and in the hands on the Sahasrara. And when he opened his eyes, he saw Shri Mataji, as if Shri Mataji was telling, you see, love is the only way. So the Kundalini gives an indication. And it can happen in many times. If you are in stressful situation, if your Kundalini is coming up, you can be sure that things will be alright. Some person, his house was burnt and a lot of problems were there. But every time he thought about this house, not fully every time, but any time when he was a bit worried, felt his Kundalini coming up, and he said everything will be all right. Now he's in the house, very good, everything is fine. So this is Kundalini. And the third one, what we can say, of course the vibrations are there, but if you are able to raise the Kundalini with our attention, that would be the best thing. Because Shri Mataji showed us this in Nirvikalpa talk. That day we had a meditation in Vienna, 1985. So she does like this, and she raises her Kundalini. And recently also I saw on 6th of February 1985 Bodhi, there was a meditation with Shri Mataji. She does like this. Means she raises her Kundalini. And in the West, if you see the public program, she does that. So she takes the Kundalini of all the seekers and raises her Kundalini. So everybody's Kundalini is coming up. So if you are able to do that, it's just in Marathi we call it abhyas. It's a practice. That you can do it anytime, anywhere. Even while driving, you can just do that, and it comes up. And a couple of examples was that when Sahaja was put out of work. So the director recalled, yes, in 15 days, 1 month, finish, your job is gone. So there were about 10 people and everybody made a big face. And he remembered suddenly, I have to go and raise my Kundalini. He went to his desk and he raised his Kundalini with his attention. First time he did that. And after some time, he could really feel the vibrations on his hand, on his head. And the others, they could not understand that this fellow, has he understood what is going to happen, because it doesn't show on his face. So Shri Mataji takes you out of the situation. It's like, we call it, it's like a slingshot. You know, you put the, we call it bechki. You put some stone and you throw like this with the rubber. Yes. So it's like your thought, what is disturbing you, put it on your Kundalini and raise it. So that thought goes to Shri Mataji, and you are safe. So let her do the job, let her take care of it. So this is one. And second time also, one experience was that somebody was driving, he was on the wrong way. And because there were a lot of, I stay in Nice and Monaco, a lot of roundabouts, and he took the wrong exit. And instead of going this way, he went this way. I said, oh God, and the other side, there were a lot of cars. And his wife said, because they had some appointment, very important, he said, they will never reach there. He said, don't worry, he was driving, and then suddenly he raised the Kundalini again and again, driving. And he felt the vibration, he said, okay, that will be all right. And suddenly they found another road which goes directly, and directly they went in that place. So it happens many, many a times. So this is what we can, is for the future. Now, another thing is we have to just remember that once we go deep within ourselves, we go higher. Like our antennas go higher. More we are deep in our meditation, the more our antennas go up. And these antennas, they send up vibrations. And those vibrations, they are responsible to take care of improving the surroundings. And if you want to have some changes in your country anywhere, so those vibrations, and what are vibrations? This Shri Mataji was asked this in, she talks in May 87 Sydney. And once Shri Mataji was asked in December 78, what are vibrations? And Shri Mataji said, vibrations, they can plan, they can think, they have relay centers, they have communication centers. And then she says that they do everything. You don't do anything. I'm really telling you, don't do anything. So that means what is our job is to just be an instrument to emit those vibrations. That's all. And there I've shown you a photo. There was one Mr. Phadke who did a lot of research, not scientific as such, on vibrations. A lot of experiences, and Shri Mataji compelled him to write a book. And that book he wrote in Marathi, and I had the honor to know him, very good friend of ours. Now he's no more. So then it was translated, and it's on the Divine Cool Breeze. I have put the photo outside, and you can see that. And also these different, we do some different meditations with the UK, and those meditations on different subjects I have put on this, and most of them are on Amruta. You can go through to go deep into yourself. Okay. And the last but not the least, as I told you, we have to please Shri Mataji. And this is what we have to, we can see the video of that pleasing Shri Mataji. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Mataji.